event I loved was the Spring Sing, which was in Frost Amphitheater. Each living unit practiced for weeks a song, some written by students, some not, and then one by one the dorms and houses sang their song on the stage. We had judges from the music department. The med school, they always seemed to win. They had wonderful songs. Those events were wonderful, and all the songs were nice.
The Spring Sing was an amateur singing night that was held in the Frost Amphitheater. And every living group on the campus, including the Stanford Medical School, would have an entry, a song. There were different categories of songs and so on. And everybody would sing something. And this was a great event. It started about 7 o'clock at night. It was daylight savings time. It was warm. And the students would sing their song. And there was a grand prize and sweepstakes and all these other things. And that was a huge social event. You could go have a picnic there. It was wonderful.
You were also a member of the Glee Club, am I correct?
That's true. I was.
When did you start doing that?
That was also during my freshman year. I was pretty active, and I did that through my sophomore year. I had perfect pitch, and I had a good singing voice. I was good at harmony.
So what kind of songs did you sing in the Glee Club? What was your repertoire?
It was a lighter sort of thing we do. So we did some German drinking songs that were funny. I think the ones I remember predominantly were from Man of La Mancha, which was current in those days. They were great to sing. There was in our register, and it was fun performances. It was my first exposure to theater music, so that was another little introduction as well. I still hum some of that stuff in the shower.
We had a large number of people in the Mendicants, which was the very first a cappella singing group on campus. And it was co-founded by 2 of the members of El Toro in the early 1960s. I was at my class dinner at the reunion, and they said, "Oh, so we've got some surprise entertainment for you all." And out came the current Mendicants, all in red blazers and all. We all stood cheered. But that was a big thrill for me because I was friends with the original Mendicants, and I own a couple of their LPs, and so that was a big deal.
I was in an a cappella group called Counterpoint, and it was the all women's a cappella group, and I have been laughing because I just learned that all of the Counterpoint, we recorded an album. They're all on Spotify, and I just cannot believe that it's out there in the world. But our album was called No Man's Land because we're all women, and we are having a Counterpoint reunion concert tomorrow night here, and so a bunch of us are going to get together and sing again, which is terrifying but also exciting.
I actually co-founded one of the singing groups on campus, Stanford Fleet Street Singers. And there wasn't really a scene like that on campus here at that time. So it's changed. Now there's 12 groups, everybody's doing this a cappella, performance art, and things like this. But at the time, it was really just the Mendicants was one group. They had evolved over the time into more like playing folk music, had guitars. I said, there's a place here for an a cappella group, and we could tell jokes, And it would be more Stanford, we tried to make it oriented towards Stanford tradition. We started it in 1981 eventually, and we're able to bring on 13 people in the first year and 16 in the second year.
Talisman is one of the a cappella groups, so it was a brand new a cappella group. At the time it was literally Counterpoint and the Mendicants were the men's group and the women's group. There was Fleet Street, which was kind of the comedy group. There was Mixed Company and Everyday People, right? And those were the mixed groups, right? So then Talisman was this newcomer on the field, and I loved their music. It wasn't music that replicated instruments. It was more kind of a choral sound.
One of the things that I definitely did, that I think was, again, the highlight, was I joined Ragapella, which is the South Asian a cappella on campus. And so that was really cool because a lot of social stuff, parties and stuff like that, but also seniors who you could learn a lot from.
Everyday People still exists. They still have reunion shows and what we call O Show, which is orientation show every year. And at Stanford, it was its only kind of R&B, Motown, and hip hop a cappella group at the time. It started in the 80s. And in fact, during COVID and during a lot of the racial unrest, we actually recorded one of our songs called Banner, which is a mix between the Black National Anthem and also the Star Spangled Banner. And we sung it a cappella and released it to the universe on social media. And it got some pretty good responses. It was pretty good. So all the alums came back and recorded virtually, and we put it together. So that was fun.